Happy Wednesday, everybody, as we, no, Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Got the wrong day. It's what happens, weeks go by fast. The NFL season goes by fast. And we're going to go over some lineup review and talk about, they say this a lot in baseball. For those that know me, know I'm a baseball broadcaster, to trust your stuff. And I had some issues with that this weekend. Scores were high. I had a pretty good weekend. I actually had my highest score ever. Now, to put this into perspective, let's do the last seven. The winning lineup in the DraftKings Millionaire had a score of almost 300 points. But still, I've never cracked this many. 215. This is my highest score I've ever had. And this was the 3-entry max, which is the only kind of multi-entry I'll do. I do all single entry mainly. What's interesting on this, and let's see what the winning lineup had in this. 279. I am surprised. Okay, that's one of my entries. I don't know why it defaults to that one. Oh, yeah, you can do this. So this is my lineup. I am surprised last week, and I would throw this out there to ask people, what was the thought process on Cousins over Herbert? Maybe it was paying down, I guess. But the fact that, I want to go back to this. The fact that Justin Herbert, I thought, would be 30% owned in tournaments, 8%, under 10% owned. I was shocked at that number. And I guess it has to be the savings, or, I get it too, like you kind of know. But if you take these teams, like they're playing together. This game was easy. I don't think that any part of me thought that game was going to be low scoring. Sometimes when you have those games, they don't pan out. But this one, everybody knew. But so the thought process is, with Cousins, you know that they're going to throw, right? Madison hasn't been great. We know that. But on the other side of the ball, with Eckler out, and Kelly struggled to run the ball the week before, plus they're almost the same. But they've got Allen, and I put in Palmer instead of Mike Williams just to get a little different. But I'm surprised at the people that played Cousins more than Herbert. I don't know. Maybe the builds were easier. If you were in Cousins, Jefferson, and Addison, or Cousins, Jefferson, and Hawkinson, for your stacks, which you should be doing, should be stacking. But I was surprised. So in these big tournaments, like to do the double stack on the run back, which I did. Herbert, Palmer, less than 1% owned. He's going to take off now with Williams out for the year. And I ran it back with Jefferson. I wanted to pair the Buffalo defense with its running back. There's correlation there. The Buffalo defense was the easiest play of the week, too. And James Cook, I mean, look, if he gets a touchdown in 100 yards, we're looking at 23 points, almost 10 more points out of that at 6,400. He's 6,300 this week, and I think he's another play at home. So that was easy for me in the tournament. I just felt the savings here at 4,800 was too good for cash games and for tournaments. And I want to start with a tournament just to be different, and then this to take you through my thought process. I loved Cortland Sutton at a low owned in a game where I knew they'd be trailing, and I paired it with, look at this. But this is DFS for you right here. They score 70 points, and this guy has one catch. Now, he's been great. Probably should have went running back. Woulda, shoulda, coulda in that, Morsteed And I didn't play him, Mostert, excuse me. And I should have, because that was kind of someone I was on this week at the price. Home favorites is what you want. At 6,000 as a home favorite. My cash game worked out. I didn't do well in double ups in some of my 50-50s. The last touchdown by Thielen in the Carolina game right at the end subtracted about $25 from me. So people had him in their 50-50. I had him as someone to consider, but I'll just pick one of these. The scores were high. I mean, I had 167 points and finished 4th and 5th in most of these. You can see like 180 was 84. 180-ish was pretty much the cash game top score. And 150, look at this. There's the double lineup. So that means that's an optimized lineup that someone had. Oh, actually, they had same scores, different. Okay, I thought that was the same. It was not the same team. So I tell people to play these 10-man 50-50s because you never have the same lineups. These top lineups, paying down a quarterback, didn't there? Cousins. So I decided to go with Geno Smith. I really set my cash game lineups with some automatics. Again, Ford in the Bills defense, Dell, Jefferson at 9, who I always pronounce wrong. But I also had in my mix Mostert and Walker. And I should not have played Josh Kelly because there was no need to. 600 more to get Mostert at home. 800 more to get Kelly. That would have been easy to. I could have figured a way to do that, and I didn't have to play Kelsey, but I wanted to. And Josh Reynolds was terrible. I mean, I don't. Yeah, I mean. But, and this is more of a GP play, I think, because, this is okay. This is almost in the middle of a GPP cash play. So if I had to do it over again, I would have done my original. My original was to pay all the way down to go to Ryder. Which, let's see. I love this, DK Live. I'm still sticking with paying down. Let's see what, yeah, he had 7 points. So, at 5,000, I would have had a 9 points. Subtract that. So if I would have had my original rider in the lineup at 7.34, so let's just go 167 minus 9, 158. But I would have gotten off Kelly. That would have given me 7,000 savings. So I would have had to play Mostert. All right, which would have given me 43 more points. All right, so. That's what I could have ended up with, playing a quarterback to give you 7 points. That's why paying down a quarterback's not a bad thing. I could have even taken a 0 from Reynolds, a 7 from my quarterback, and had 201 points in my cash game, which would have won me all of my 50-50s, double ups, 3-man leagues that I didn't win. I would have smashed. Like, look, this is probably would have been the winning score. Let's see. Oh, it would have been third, but I would have smashed doing that. So I don't know what it was. I think I was a little hesitant at playing Ritter in that game because I didn't think he was going to be able to throw a lot. I thought Geno Smith, he scored 37 points, and actually, if he gets me the bonus and another touchdown, or even just the bonus, or in 20, if I had 4 more points, 171.34, I think would have, look at that, that would have cashed that. So, in reality, I was 3 or 4 yards away from cashing and everything. And if Reynolds would have had one catch, so, you could look at this as some risk in paying up for Kelsey, because if I could have paid down, I mean, look at that, even 191 getting a 2, like having 2 bad, duds, which I could have done. So, but overall, I don't hate this. I didn't, if you look at the matchup, truly, the Carolina-Seattle game, Geno Smith wasn't a great bargain. Where Ritter, it would have made sense just to get a $5,000 would have opened up some more things. And him going up and, prohibited me from getting to Mostert or Walker, who are at home. And again, this is against my rule. Home favorites. Now, Jacksonville lost, but Ant9 still had a very productive day. 50 yards receiving, So I don't second guess playing him. They're home favorites too, but he was not a home favorite. He was a road favorite. So, and just no production at all. So, still though, 167.34, pretty good score in cash game for me, and I'm having a profitable week. I ended up clearing money, so for 3 weeks, I've been in the plus side, which is good. Let's see. My tournament lineups, yeah, I mean, I got a 194. Why is that not showing? I don't know why you can't sort. Yeah, this. And I do the 80-20 rule. Whatever my buy-in was 60, so $12 in GPPs, the rest cash games. This was a good lineup. Small lineup, $5, but 1.9 entry, paying out 432 spots. So you try to want to get 25 to 26%. So 430. No, the other way. What am I doing? Oh, I'm not good at this. Why is this not? Okay, so this pays up 23%. You want to try to and look at a lot of these players, a lot of new players. Let's see if Papa Gates, he's one of the top players. Yeah, he was in this. Not surprising. You want to get like 25%, 26% payout. I have this Roto Grinders password. Not password. It will tell you the margin, so it pays out. So like a $200 double spy here. 18% get paid. So that you don't want. You don't want something that low. 21%. I look for 25 to 26%. That's 22. So this single entry, 27%. That's good. Single entry, $1. I might enter that. I'm trying to get all my crowns. I do these missions to set up. So just to give you a little taste of that. So let's go back to that lineup. So I finished 161st out of 1,900 people. $10. Doubled my money. Winner gets $750. Let's see where Papa Gates finished. He's like one of the best. I don't know why that didn't. That's weird that didn't come up. He's one of the best DFS players in the country and has been for a long time. God, I wish I could have like their minds to see like what they're doing. So here was my process. I went with Cousins, and I tried to get a little different. I knew that Jefferson would be chalky, but I didn't care in this. Cousins to Jefferson to Addison, ran it back with Kelly. Did a Mostert. Probably should have done a Mostert to Sutton, but I wanted Dell and Ingram to get part of that game. You know, this build is pretty good with the exception of Kelly, and having the Browns defense at 3% owned. I could have correlated with Ford, and then I'd had $600 more. But I like that. So on FanDuel, I did a lot of the free ones. I won one NFL ticket for this. I only played a few lineups. This was one of my tournament lineups. Allen to Diggs. Did not run it back with anyone. Miami with Mostert, Kelly. I played Kelly a lot. Kirk, Kelsey, Stevenson, the winning had 213. Cousins, Allen, a skinny stack. Ran it back with Allen. Love these plays. Walker, Moss, good play, Moss. I just wasn't on him for some. I saw him. I don't know. I just thought the matchup wasn't great, but give any credit. Good lineup here. Let's see, what was my best score? I had a pretty high score in one of these. Yeah, 174, which is pretty high for. I went with a Herbert again, 7% owned. Herbert to Williams to Jefferson. I really like this team. Look at Ridley. I mean, the guys that did not pay off. Gus Edwards, he got hurt in that game. And Calvin Ridley. I think this got a ticket and money. Look at that lineup. So pretty good stuff there. I also did Owner's Box, which I love. There's just another fantasy. And then I do that Yahoo. I should show everybody too. In case you don't know. Owner's Box, just another DFS site. I didn't have great success, as they would say. I have a small balance because I'm just this is bonus money. I cashed in the free roll. I went with this is a super flex, which I love. I hate playing defenses. I'd rather play. I have these arguments with people all the time. Like, I think fantasy leagues are nuts that we have kickers in defenses. I hate it. And the reason I said is that we all keep two quarterbacks, right? We all have backups in case. So, like, why not play 2-quarterback league? And then you could correlate in your season longs. And I'll get to my season long. My teams are pretty good. I went with just skinny stacks of Wilson to Sutton. Look at Mostert, ran it back here. Went to Lawrence to Kirk. That wasn't horrible. Plugged in Mark Andrews Figured he'd be low owned. He was 9%. And Laporta went with a double tight end, and then I wanted a piece of that Vikings game, and I went with a stack there that just wasn't great. So on Yahoo, not sure if you guys know, they have a free thing called the Yahoo Cup. It's free. You just put in a team every week, and then at the end of the year, so they add your points every week. So right now, through 3 weeks, this guy, Joe Bethria. Is that, Joe Burrow, right? I don't know. It's a weird name. He has the most fantasy points, so my projected is $1. These are tough because 105,000 entries. You got to get pretty creative. But I like it. Why can't I find complete? Oh yeah. I'm all over the place. Let's get to my. How do I get to my last score? Okay, so first week I had a good week. Second week did not, and then this week was pretty good. You do have to get different. So like that winning lineup's not too different. I mean, that's Geno Smith's not a nutty play. He didn't stack him with anyone, but Mostert, Moss, Hill, Tank Dell, Keenan Allen, those are all solid plays. Like that's not crazy. I went a little crazy. I went with a Wilson to Jerry Jeudy stack. I think Sutton was more money, but look at the ownership on this. Under 1%, 1.9. I should, Sutton obviously would have worked. Mostert, I went with the two running backs that I trusted, Jefferson and Mike Williams to stack that game. And then I went another stack. So there's second and third stacks. And the reason you do that is you're trying to get just a few things right. Then 9 things. If you go 9 different players, you got to get forget. We can include the defense. You're trying to get 9 things right, so you modify that. So Wilson to Jeudy to Mostert, that counts as 1. Then the at 9 to Collins, that's 2. Then Jefferson to Mike Williams, that's 3. And then Laporta on his own is 4, and the Chiefs is 5. So you take away 4 things, if that makes sense. Get 5 things right instead of 9. It's tough. Like this guy, give him credit. He did a Geno Smith naked, no stack, and then he stacked Mostert and Hill and ran it back with nobody. And then went Keenan Allen by himself. He stacked the Diggs Bills. That's a correlation there. Not really, but usually correlated with the running back. But that's tough, what he did, and I give him credit. It's a great lineup. But traditionally, this is going to be harder to do, especially for people starting off. So you want to correlate your lineup. And what does that mean? Well, if you think that Wilson and Jeudy are going to have a big games, they're throwing a lot because they're going to be down. That means if they're down, then Mostert probably is having a good game. You play Jefferson and Williams in this game, 2 receivers, because you think that's the game it's going to be. You don't just do it to do it. You got to do it to believe it. And that's what I've learned more in DFS is that you have to have conviction. You know what I mean? Like, think more than just fitting in numbers and doing math. And a lot of this is math too, like with the salaries, but still, you can justify it if you believe in it. So a Jefferson salary at $9,300, you need to win tournaments. You need 3.5, 4 times his salary. Now, he didn't do it. Cash games, I like to go for 3 times the salary because my goal is 150, not 120. The cash line usually for cash games is 120, 130. I shoot for 150. So 9.3 times 3 is 28. And I knew that going in. I didn't care. I felt he can do this for me. You know? And that's why I played him. So it's got to tell a story. And you need to do that. Like, you can't, I use Vegas. This is my betting. This is something else. I'll show you what I use. I've showed this on other videos. You can see it. These are some of my week 4. But I use Vegas lines. And sometimes I don't believe in all of these stories. And that's fine. Like, I think this game's going to be closer. I think this game is going to have less points. Because they're two good teams usually don't play at a higher level. I could see this game more a 24-21. That's just my opinion. And you might think these games are going to go higher. So you should adjust to that. But you got to have a feeling. I didn't just do this to get different. I knew that Denver stinks. And I didn't think they were going to win. And I thought, well, that's going to mean Russell Wilson is going to have to throw a lot. And at his price tag, I was fine with it. And that's the same way I am when I build this. I liked Kelly because of the price, because of the projected score. And I figured I just need a touchdown from him. 50 yards and a touchdown, couple receptions, 13, 14 points. I only need 15 or 16 from him. So that's kind of how I go about it. All right. It's so hard, and I'm constantly learning, but I love DFS. Here's some of my season-long teams. I'm in this league with the Portland Sea Dogs. I was their broadcaster for people that don't know, so I go by the former voice. This scoring system is a little different where quarterbacks are weighted a lot heavier. And I really like my team. And I used a lot of DFS concepts when I do season long. I base it off cash games. So with cash games, you want receivers that aren't necessarily the down the field guys like Mike Williams. You want the target monsters. That's what Olave is, Allen, and you just go for guys volume. At 9, Najee Harris, I'm still sticking with him because he gets the volume. 20 opportunities the other night. Tight end is tough. I'm trying with Henry and Musgrave. Picked up Kyron Williams off waivers. I got Pacheco, Judy. This is a little more high leverage play. Sutton's more the possession guy. Addison, because I just wanted a piece of Minnesota. Picked up Kareem Hunt, and I drafted Jonathan Taylor in the 4th round. Our defense is weighted higher. I cannot be happier with my special teams, even though I was just complaining about playing defenses. That, to me, is as good as it gets because there are opportunities, and these are really good defenses. This is a keeper league that I've been in forever. I kept Devontae Smith in the 11th round. When you look at my drafts, I didn't get a good draft grade. Yeah, a C. I took Jalen Hurts in the 1st round. I did not care. And I'll stick with that. I just figured I'm getting a guy that's getting me rushing yards. And I already had Devontae Smith. I already had a good receiver, and I didn't mind pairing them. That was my process. Nick Chubb didn't work out. He was pretty good for, a game plus. Keenan Allen, 3rd round, target monster. TJ Hawkinson, 4th round to get that kind of tight end and that kind of offense that throws. This was what's going through my head. Rashard White, opportunities, 5th round, running back, getting targets. Alvin Kamara, 6th round, back this week. I'll take him in the 6th round. This guy could outscore Saquon Barkley by missing the first 3 games. Ran it back. Herbert, 7th round, trying to get some running backs. Mike Evans might be the best pick, I think, of this draft. In the 8th round, Mike Evans, the number 1 receiver. Courtland Sutton's pretty good. Sutton, Gabe Davis to me is more of that's a GPP, a tournament. So in season long, I don't like guys like that. Addison's good, of course, but Mike Evans there, that's the steal of the drafts. I could not believe. And then I come back with Cooks because I figured he'd be the second part. That might not be a great pick. Sky Moore, who I since dropped. Michael Thomas, excellent pick in that spot. Excellent. Then Smith was my keeper. I dropped him. Russ Wilson, Jets defense, dropped Singletary, dropped him, and then my last pick, I dropped him too. So if you want to look at my team right now, I like it with Hurts, Allen, Evans, Williams, Kamara, Hawkinson, Devontae Smith. That to me is pretty solid. White's now on my bench. Herbert, Cooks, Nakua, Ertz, Tank Dell, Russell Wilson. I just picked him up off waivers and can't be happier with that. So I really like this team going forward. And if you guys need any advice, make sure to hit me up. I could put my email in the chat if you'd like. Certainly can do that. If you'd like any DFS tips, what I would say, the advice that I would say, and also betting. Here's another thing on betting. I've had a pretty profitable betting since it became legal here in Mass. See on DK. I have accounts on Caesars Win. Fanatics I just opened because they're giving you $20 bets for. I put $10 in, and you bet $1 every day, and you get $20 to bet. So I'm doing that just to get some extra cash. But what I would say with betting, I'll give you a little DFS and then some betting tips. Don't bet parlays. It's tempting. I hit a parlay on here. I hit a baseball parlay of Alex Verdugo and Austin Hayes to homer, and I hit it. $5, won $4.56. I think I tried 9 more home run parlays, did not win one. And I only bet $1 to $5 in those 9, so I probably lost $35, $40. I know it's boring. Single games, single things are going to win. These are just come-ons. And again, it's just like DFS and stacking. You're trying to get more things right. Now, I know the odds go up. It's very tempting to go, all right, I'm going to take the Eagles. But if I bet $10 on a minus 380, I'm only going to win $2.63. So if I just keep jacking this up, I'll go and add the Cowboys. And then I'll add the 49ers. And then I'll add the Chiefs. All right, I'm in a plus. I'm just going to go all favorites here. And, is there any more, big favorites? Not really. This week's pretty... Oh, the Chargers. Wow. So then instead of making $2, and now my $10 gets me $22. You know what? I'm going to go 100. And you're feeling pretty good about all these teams. And then what happens last week if you would have done that? Right? What happened last week if you went All right, I'm going to go the Cowboys, 12.5 point favorite. I'm going to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're a favorite. You know? And you put $100 and you lost your $100, where you could have been boring and bet 100 on the Chiefs at home against the Bears. Do you know that I almost bet on that game. I almost put, I think when the Chiefs, I was watching the live betting. It got down to minus 480. I was going to put $300 on that game. As soon as they scored, the Chiefs, the line went to minus 8,000. Like that. But if it's me and you have a bankroll, now I suggest with betting that you only bet 1% of your bankroll. So my bankroll's about $1,500 between the two things. I'm only going to 1 to 3%. So I'm going to go 15 to about $30 a bet. It's boring, but you start $100 betting, even at a $1,500 bankroll. It's 15 bets you could lose. Where you go $15 at 100 bets, you'd have to lose 100 bets. All right? So as boring as it is, if you have a bankroll that you can use $100, it's $11. I know. Then don't bet one of those games. The Chiefs at minus 500. $20. People don't want $20. It's amazing. You know what I mean? Because like some of these games is like picking up money off the ground. Like, does any part of you think that the Chiefs, well, more the 49ers won't win this game? But that's what I would do. Player props, touchdown scores. I'd pick one. Just pick one. Because it's harder to me. My DFS bankroll strategy, I play 5% of my bankroll. I'm going to go a little higher this week because I have I don't know why it does this. It does this only when you're on the sports book. We'll just ignore that. So I'm going to go a little higher this week with my bankroll at 15.5. Well, at 1,500. So 5% of that is about $75. I'm going to go 80 this week. I'm going to do 64 of it in cash games. And like I've suggested to people before, I come right in here when I have a dummy lineup, so it's easier to enter. I reduce this to 10, and I play these smaller contests, dollar buy-ins, because there's less duplicates. So I do a lot of these. Do some multipliers. You know, if you want, I'll do one of these, a quintuple up, tuple up, triple up. Head-to-head, I do always 2 or 3 tournaments. I love doing these 3-mans. You know, 3-man leagues, where all you have to do... Oh, my God. This is so annoying. Top 2. 40, you know. Yep, I know you know, 35 cents. But it's 40% chance. These 3-man leagues, 33% chance. So have fun with it, but try to not go for when you're starting off. It's very easy. And I've done it. I was there. It's very easy to do this. The featured are always going to be the high dollar chances to win. See the featured But when you're in tournaments, people will do this. They'll sort this. They'll see this money. Yeah, it's appealing. This looks nice, doesn't it? This looks nice, but you're potentially 200,000 people in multi-entry of 150. That means that, and there's pros that put 100. Look at, there's already a guy in here. 150 lineups at $20. It's a lot of money, right? Do you have that kind of money? $3,000. And you need to, to get your money back. I mean, you need to finish like pretty high just to get your money back. So I don't suggest you doing this. I suggest reducing this to $10. What I don't like here is you can't do single entry, but that's what I would do. The ones that say M means that multiple entries. I only do multi-entry if it's 3 or 4, but stick to the single entry. I mean, look at this tournament in lower contestants like this. 2,378 single entry, pays 23%. Top prize $1,000, right?